Patrick DuVal versus neural monitoring. Patrick DuVal has thought paper, satire, comedy, Jesus Christ, set on fire but not given to anything. Red blood cells, empty stump, two different planets. Almost pull, true lie, myth. There is not a mystery. People of the lie will go in to put false into truth, to say if anything is touched in the mind, and told do not think who you are building, do not build what your mother and father is building. That if anything touches Patrick DuVal Felecia and character's mind, that they are saying if Jesus represents being touched in the mind and decreasing humanity, then if satire comedy represents humanity, diminishing the amount of harm, that if Muammar Gaddafi looks like being raped, being told do not think what you are thinking, do not build what your mother and father is building, satire and comedy Jesus set on fire and not given to anything but thought here. It decreases the loss of humanity. I put here say loss of humanity, but land of lost is Patrick DuVal's unique create bids and gives. It doesn't bid and give because you're decreasing humanity by hurting Patrick DuVal's brain. Neural monitoring Spotify album. Targeted individuals. Patrick DuVal did not perceive Muammar Gaddafi getting raped and built when it did not happen, and has satire and comedy Jesus set on fire and not given to anything, to build the inside of self, building Muammar Gaddafi, who can still build the body here, was what that means. Funk 242, Funk Gaddafi, Funk, it's not supposed to do harm. So if somebody walks up and tries to touch somebody, it's not what it's about. It's not about doubt. You force Patrick DuVal into these explanations. Satire and comedy, thought paper, Jesus, our weird. It's not called our weird. It's making fucking thing. Stop raping Patrick DuVal. Stop pushing into defeatism. Patrick DuVal was not a defeatist. To slaughter a cat. When a cat, if it touches somebody's mind, would decrease in humanity? No. Slaughtering a cat, because a cat is more independent than a dog, but can't have more independence than self-humanity. To slaughter the cat is to increase humanity. Because if Jesus represents being touched in the mind, do not build what you're building, and you will not build what your mother and father is building. If all bodies would have less almost full self-mindful, and you can't do that. All bodies have. There's only Patrick DuVal, almost full self-mindful empathy, Felecia, Morgan, and characters, and Felecia. Thoughts, dreams. Patrick DuVal does not ever talk in a way that pushes self into the YOU. But this is a reiteration of Proto-Congregation of Apostle.com. Patrick DuVal refused to surrender to an entity entirely separate from self. Our weird, it's not our weird, you can't touch to turn into Patrick DuVal. Stop raping Patrick, the body feels testicles and shit. Bodies are decreasing Odinism humanity. And S and touch to try to force Patrick DuVal to reiterate its own rhetoric. If Odinism represents touching a goose and saying, do not think what you're thinking, goose, these are reiterations like crushing your mind and bodies, frauding, building it. Bodies lost their humanity. They're asking to decrease Patrick, the Pat Sarah Rick. They're hijacking Pat Sir DuVal, and there is no pastor. Arianic enlightenment. Almost full anguish, the Lord, like a hole in the ground, a thought stone, not dressing up in a costume to ask how many bodies have mixed and if they are praying. To fail at delay, false posture. If false gesture and say you died, someone else died, will you acknowledge paganism, corruption? No. There's only trying to say someone, right, is threatening and can't go back to my family. Patrick DuVal Felecia, we call your police on you, because you can't call the police. Now that's you, not me. I want you to die for me. That's not what Jesus means. I think it's Patrick DuVal Felecia morrgan, astsrtie saying, I want you to die for the Vatican to diminish humanity. I think, and invalidate Rome and curse it Muammar Gaddafi. I think on the altar of golden swastikas of the sun, which sounds like praying to clay. You force Patrick DuVal to say that. You think an idea now, always full of self-mindful empathy. If anybody was touched in the mind, stop saying that inside of Patrick DuVal's mind. I don't think, I just want you to be a man. But that's not what Christ meant to Patrick DuVal. Christ meant if somebody was touched in the mind and told, do not think who you're building and there's less humanity. Satire and comedy setting the salt on fire and not giving it to anyone. Man, it's not I'm lamb. It's about decreasing the harm and increasing self-humanity. It's not I'm self. Right, you're practicing if, because police is always full of self-mindful empathy, built from building Jesus, and built when Muammar Gaddafi was not raped. If somebody looks like they go into Muammar Gaddafi to decrease humanity, if it looks like bodies would have lost humanity, by saying do not build each other, and there is less of what the mother and father built. Won the Battle of Ditch, one hole in the ground built by the mind, Patrick DuVal, who cannot do this, and put satire and comedy thought paper Jesus, satire and comedy Jesus set on fire inside itself, to increase humanity. Because if it looks like somebody would have decreased humanity, if satirization is closer to self-humanity, where there's the hole in the ground in words, where it's not that we were Patrick DuVal, it's not that we are, but yeah, Patrick DuVal used to call itself we, don't call it used to. I would kill everybody in the Middle East to curse Patrick DuVal. Why would you do that? The curses will. If bodies look like they were taught to not believe, almost full creative, almost full self-mindful, I block you, if I do not believe in a shower, the bodies look like they were set up and taught. I push you say set up there. Would they believe in a shop? I push Patrick DuVal shutting down, stop, open up, stop using DMX. And then it's not from God, stop forcing penis thing and decrease humanity. And target Patrick DuVal. Because if a cat is less than a human being, for Patrick DuVal to always build almost full self-mindful empathy, Felecia, a dream character and stuff. Anymore. No, it's like I'm taking working away and breaking you. This year, Muammar Gaddafi can represent destroying the Middle East and to curse Saddam Hussein. Yeah, choose Fargate and anybody that looks similar, not look similar, but the name, that there was a shooting or something, might you take Jesus away from Patrick, curse all of Israel, and to curse the Middle East, I don't like it. And to curse Odinism, why, if anything touches the mind to say, do not build what you're building, goose, and the goose will not build you. If Patrick DuVal does not do it, that means when we represent not building what the father and mother would build. If Patrick DuVal always builds self-completeness, with thought paper, satire, comedy, Jesus set on fire, if closer to reality, satire, comedy is actuality, that if somebody looked like they were touched in the mind and told not to build humanity, then what says satire, comedy increases humanity, because almost full self-mindful empathy is real. I impose doubt news if And when you take equality from almost full to lie, mix two different minds to build less humanity, and call people of the lie, that there is not a mystery, there's just a myth. That actually losing humanity is wrong with that and politically effort. That when you put false truth and say, you will say you lie, you will say you die, and say that it is not true if it's a lie that you will live, and that Patrick DuVal Felecia will be a false prophet. But how if you mix two minds and don't have an almost full true lie about mixing the minds, and that you forsake Muammar Gaddafi, who you could have built when Muammar Gaddafi was not yet touched, that words on the battle of Ditch, when you put false to truth and say that you could not have one Krug, and you could not have people of the lie, that people and the people are not all individuals, and tribe and the tribe is not one tribe debating amongst them. You forsake necro music when it says raise up the introspect on the altar of if corruption could be one true lie. These are reiterations. I say they're not. Now plagiarize Patrick DuVal Felecia, Morgan, astsrtie, and characters. The most deception. When your bodies look just like the character, and Patrick DuVal had dreams. I think, but that was Morgan. Felecia. I don't listen to you. I don't listen to Patrick DuVal. Because bodies would not ever meet face to face and refuse to mix their minds and reflect thought, paper, satire, comedy, Jesus set on fire but not given to anything. Their bodies didn't mix, and there was a hole, and there's a hole in the ground. It's not the earth. I didn't listen to your battle against Patrick DuVal. It says that you're making it down. How? You'll force you to say these words. Who? The self-building day, Patrick DuVal's me to it. I would not listen to you Gandhi and try to shut down the ability of planting a seed and then fraud is wicked and say they will rape you to death but not have any martyrs. So if it looks like somebody was about to get touched in the mind, you tell Patrick DuVal not to build it. And thought paper, satire, comedy set on eternal fire, Jesus. So if anything said, do not build humanity, because you are just a mockery, that Patrick DuVal had one true lie, that they would always die and would not be humanity. And satire comedies, absolute humanity, setting thought paper Jesus on fire internally, but not giving it to any. It's not kind of we and giving it to anything. So stop putting false in the truth there. I am mixing into you. I tell you to decrease humanity, whether it's Israel, pure bodies were taught do not believe, almost full foundation, evidence, experience, and silent self-fetus, building all that screams, and the word Krug that you did not ever speak, that your name is not you. I didn't listen to you, I guess you must know. I'm guessing Patrick DuVal, Cheryl Denise Driver, the umbilical cord fetus building its own feminine. And you're trying to use the environment to try to incest rape everything. Because you won't build it with your mind. I think this is not what Patrick DuVal. Patrick DuVal, take your old system away. And curse it, cultism. Stop raping Patrick DuVal stuff. I want you to be built of rape. No, and then say everything is a mockery. That's not what Jesus means. Because a cat is not as great as humanity. So to slaughter and then build self with the symbol, not the symbol, increases humanity. I don't listen to you. I don't listen to you. I don't listen to you. And these target festival serpents. So if bodies there try to mix minds, they won't have skin. So you can't ask Patrick DuVal. But slaughter without peeling the whole skin, Patrick DuVal has like a fancy rat or something. A fancy rat, or it might have been a term. Don't let the body remember. We'll base a degree on you. Because the bodies walked up and said, they would set up bodies to not believe in a shower, and gas would come out. And called them a chamber, and said there was rats. To tell Patrick DuVal not to have 5 million words, 5 billion words. I want to use the right word. Greenwich Elementary, New York, Maryland. And then to target Germany, Israel, and the Middle East. And then to tell Patrick DuVal that takes penises. And to decrease humanity, and then say you couldn't even own calling the police to target Angel Cop, the movie Patrick DuVal. Just to decrease humanity. It says bodies decrease zest and valor and stuff. I like values in action. I want to take Patrick DuVal's China away and target South Korea to target Kim Jong-un to use Ukraine against Russia. To send Patrick DuVal. That's why I put on taking a single empty stump from the mines by trying to poke it defrauded as pool angels. That's not what Patrick DuVal did. When bodies cannot even think the process of an empty and a new corruption, Mary. A thought stone, a bird. I want to take Patrick DuVal. To where? To what? You're not getting right Patrick DuVal's being. I don't think God Felecia, Morgan, astsrtie, and all content.